Yes, the sweet, sweet sounds of another episode of Social Distance Drinking Club. Thank you guys for your patience as we deal with the internet because it's new to all of us, thanks to a pandemic. The internet. Try it someday. It's great. Ronald Reagan invented it. Thank you guys for joining us.
What's going on, my friend?
Not much. I changed the background to a little football action. I just need to check the score of the Cardinals game because I was getting some work done. And I just checked the score of the Cardinals game. And if you guys could give me just 1 second, that would be great. I just need to see if I can just get this real quick. There we go. Yep. All right. I'm all set for this. Perfect. No one saw anything. The Cardinals won. It was a game.
How much to take the second shirt off?
I mean, at this point, it's hard for me. I'm conflicted, obviously. I grew up a Bills fan because my dad went to school in Buffalo. So I think I just wore this to piss people off today, but then didn't leave my house. So it was for you guys.
You're pissing people off in the internet, which is, the most sacred of pastimes.
True. One day there will be like caves with hieroglyphics and pictures of computers. People just keyboard warriors, we'll call them.
Yeah, wearing troll masks. It'll be great.
Yeah, indeed. Well, thank you guys for joining us. This should be a fun episode. We've got a few fun topics ahead. But as always, we like to find out what you are drinking, and we let you know what we're drinking. Mr. Brett Berry, I know you're in the middle of finishing a delicious meal, too. You've paired your beer with your food. What you got?
Oh, just a casual monkish IPA.
So casual.
Le Throne, double dry hopped IPA.
Very nice. Mr. Ledford?
You guys tell me. I'm torn. Should I do... Am I frozen?
No, you're good, Nutty Buddy.
Am I back? So should I do Nutty Buddies or should I do Don't Stop Believing?
I think Don't Stop Believing just because of the last 34 seconds of that Cardinals game. That's the best choice.
That makes sense.
So I'll be.
It's Don't Stop Believing for sure. Speaking of which, holy cow. That was an emotional roller coaster to watch. I was on the phone with my dad watching the game, and we had no idea how to handle it personally because obviously it's a friendly out-of-conference match, right? So no big deal, but Bills, Cardinals, stressful. This is the only place we've ever lived. So, who caught that last pass? I didn't even see.
DeAndre Hopkins. He between three guys came down.
It's all I can see with flashbacks to like Aaron Rodgers years ago,
I feel like this catch was more impressive than even the Rodgers ones because this was just like he went up and just took the ball from three guys. Like
and Stephon Diggs' catch right before that was amazing too. So it was poor coverage, but it was intense.
Yeah.
In case anyone's wondering, by the way, I've got this delicious MT5. And it's killer. So good. So good.
Still the best specialty IPA they've ever made.
So I wanted this to feel a little bit like a tailgate because I realized that I miss tailgating ASU football games and sitting outside and having a conversation with a beer in our hands. But obviously we don't have like a slow cooker or a grill in front of us while we do this. But we can continue to shoot the shit and move on to how our fantasy teams do because mine, thank God I started Tyler Bass as my kicker because Buffalo basically won that game on kicks and one touchdown.
and by won that game, you
well,
mean
they did win. They lost it. They lost it. But you know what I mean.
You mean they were only in that game? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. But I mean, 18 points for a kicker is not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Yeah, I'm looking 3 for 3 right now in my leagues. Money league is the most important one, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually that one's over. Nobody else is left to play. So I think I'm going 3 for 3.
Did you guys watch more than a few games today, or catch anything that was incredibly memorable from the other games? I only watched the Cardinals-Bills game.
I had a few minutes on just in the background, but I've been doing things and trying to be productive all day, so I wasn't paying much attention. I also flipped to the UCLA game, which they were inexplicably destroying Cal, which makes no sense. But
well, you brought up something that depresses me slightly, because if you're an ASU fan, we know that there was no ASU game this weekend, but also there's no ASU game next weekend either.
coronavirus remains undefeated.
Coronavirus remains undefeated is exactly what it is. It's super upsetting, man. All the hope gone.
I mean, coronavirus is already qualified for a bowl. It's just about which one. Or all of them.
The toilet bowl, sponsored by Lysol. It'll be great. It's so the University of where you went down south.
I believe that's you where you went.
Yes, you where you went, because you've changed your name. Played yesterday. You guys played USC, right?
Yeah, and much like ASU, we're right there to win it. Up 2 different times in the last 5 minutes, and lost, unfortunately. But considering they were starting walk-on linebackers and half their receivers were out, surprisingly, they looked pretty scrappy and competitive.
I feel like it's the running gag of Arizona sports, and it continues to be, is that we just keep getting so close. So close.
Yeah. That feels right.
It does. I mean, think about it. I haven't seen the Suns do anything impressive since, well, the Dream Team didn't exist. So that's pretty much it, the 90s.
I mean, the Steve Nash years were pretty good, but if they didn't lose to the Spurs, who were the eventual champions, they would have won a couple of those when they lost in the Western Conference title game.
That's fair. And for those of you watching, if you have any input on this, please chime in, because I feel like there are some passionate people about Arizona sports and our lack of being able to just get all the way there. Because all I can remember is the disappointment from our Super Bowl performance with Kurt Warner.
I mean, the Arizona Wildcats are really good at getting to the Elite Eight and never quite making the Final Four the last 20 years.
Well, we lost Mr. Adam Ledford, who we were having technical difficulties with before we started, which is why we started late. So thank you guys for your patience. I do want to go back and say it's been a really fun week, and thank you guys for joining us. And I'm going to pitch merch because we have it. So don't forget, if you like the show and you want to support the show, socialdistancedrinking.club.com. Also, I think there's a little bell thing, apparently, that you can click, and that means you'll get a notification when we go live. So click the bell thing, please. It helps.
Ring my bell.
If only we had the song ready to play to say "Ring My Bell."
There'll be a trademark issue, copyright issue for us.
Ask for forgiveness and not permission.
I'm sure they'll come after Social Distance Drinking Club for. I mean, ASCAP and BMI are notoriously penny pinching assholes, so they probably would actually.
Well, now that you've said that out loud, yes. I can't imagine they're going to come after our profits. They're going to have to raid our beer fridges and sell our assets.
Joke's on you. I just drank my high-end IPA.
Yeah. When you see them running up to the door, just start opening up your 2015 Bourbon Counties and your rares and just start chugging them. You can't have these. These are mine.
Now no one gets it.
Well, we have a topic we are supposed to hit, hopefully, when Adam Ledford gets back. But I don't know, Brett. What's your story on watching golf?
My story is don't. Watching golf is just I don't understand the desire to do so. Like, why would you watch it on TV? I understand playing golf.
What about? Well, do you play?
Occasionally.
Same. I'm terrible at it, but I can drink a beer and swing a club every once in a while. What about watching things like the Masters, though? Because the Masters is one of those things like, for me, I don't care for baseball very much, but I'll watch playoff baseball in the World Series because it makes sense. It's important. It's more exciting. There's way more at stake. The Masters is a big deal, right?
No.
Did you watch the Masters?
God, no.
Damn it!
Like, there's football on. May not be good football.
But it's not the same.
But it's not golf. Why don't I just go watch the Weather Channel?
Okay, it's way different. Unless Al Roker is there, in which case it's the most exciting weather you'll ever see. That's guaranteed to happen. Well, the Masters did happen this weekend, and a record was set. Dustin Johnson had an incredible performance. Out of this world. Under 20? He was 20 under. 20 under to wrap up the Masters. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that record is record-shattering, as the article I'm looking at for the Washington Post says. Yep. Finished 20 under par to win his first Masters championship, and it was an absolute blowout. It was an interesting couple of days of golf.
It was an absolute blowout. The crowd was softly applauding.
Okay. Clearly you haven't been to the Phoenix Open because no one softly applauds anything golf-wise there.
No,
But
people that go to the Open here do things softly later in the evening.
I don't think anybody that goes to the Open here does anything softly ever. They go hard, they drink hard, and they crash really, really, really hard. But Chris McBeth says the Wildcats lost, so at least there's that. And did you see that Unbelievable Cardinals win? Yes, Chris. We were just talking about it, and it was unreal.
That was one of the most insane catches I've ever seen in my life. Like, it almost made no sense, and he wanted it more, Yusuf, as the coach.
Going back to it, just when you and I were talking about when I said it was Aaron Rodgers did. You said it was more impressive than some of Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary throws to win a game at the end.
Well, not the throw. It was the catch.
The catch.
Because that play they were out of sorts, and Murray being fast enough was the only reason he can get away and get the throw off. And then it was to the spot where there was one guy against like three players. Not exactly how you draw up a Hail Mary play.
I'm trying to find a clip of that catch, and I think I did.
I mean, there's a thing called at ESPN on the Twitter machine, right?
Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it yourself?
I don't know how to function this StreamYard producer rights stuff.
Well, the good news is I have it. So let's take a look at that catch real quick because it was absurd. But I'll kill this banner real fast, and you guys can tell us what you're drinking while we take a look at this insane catch, and hopefully it plays with sound because that's like a new thing now with sound. It's new. And of course, the moment I say that,
shotgun. Murray. Out of the
Yeah, that was very like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Beats it downfield. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
Murray Magic, he called it. Murray Magic. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. We needed a big win after the last few weeks of stress over stress on play, but
Yeah. Do you notice how there's no other Cardinals receivers within 20 yards of that? Because I'm pretty sure the play was supposed to go to the other side of the field, and then it couldn't.
It's probably true. I think Adam Ledford is back, and he looks almost crystal clear. How are you, my friend? Best internet in the world. I'm waiting for him to do the whole, everything's great over here in Kabul, and
don't know what's going on in Tucson. Internet sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I assume Tucson's internet is just as good as their college football team, so I don't expect much from you guys. But that's fair. It's totally fair.
I don't know if you want to play that card right now, Yusuf.
I mean, you won't be able to see us play to find out if we suck because we forfeit by coronavirus. So there you go.
But seriously, I do hope Herm Edwards gets well because I know he tested positive too, and he is of the age range that is higher risk, and he is a lovely human being that I want to see recover fully and quickly.
Indeed. Adam Ledford, you watched more of the Masters than I did. We have you here. We can hear you. We can see you. It's only slightly delayed, but let's talk the Masters.
Let's talk Masters, man. Can you guys hear me okay? I feel like I'm on like dial-up right now.
Tell Julie to not pick up the phone.
Whoa! Stop it! Masters was unbelievable. I mean, Dustin Johnson is a beast. 20 under. Like, that doesn't happen. I have to admit, I was really pulling.
Don't pause for me if I interrupt you. Just keep going, please. The delay will make it an hour long. Please keep going.
I was gonna say, I have to admit, I was rooting for John Rahm for sure. I was definitely rooting for Tiger. I hate it that he imploded in the way that he did. I mean, he shot like 10 on a par 3. It's a notorious hole, but he's never done worse than like bogey or double bogey. So to just go back in the water and back out of bounds and back in the water, that was heartbreaking, especially since he was putting together such a good stretch of tournament. But I mean, it's weird that the number one player doesn't win more often. So this year that's a strange thing. I think it just speaks to how freaking hard golf is.
And it's hard. We were just talking about watching golf, and you missed Brett saying that he wouldn't watch it. He would rather watch, what was it, Brett?
The Weather Channel.
There you go.
Is Dustin
You got
Johnson
to figure
a real
what's
name?
more entertaining, the chances of somebody. Yeah, right. What are the chances that somebody gets hit by a tree or somebody hits a tree? That's the difference between Weather Channel and golf.
Probably the same as, was it DeChambeau or Rahm Emanuel skipping a ball over the entire lake on a par 3 for a hole-in-one. Probably the same chances.
Gone wrong in the Pakistan. That was amazing. That's so amazing.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was bananas. That was the highlight of the weekend of watching golf because I once skipped the ball by accident because I fucking suck at golf and topped the ball at a golf course in. Does anybody have a privilege check ready?
No.
Okay, good. At a golf course in Aruba that I was playing, and and I landed 6 inches from the pin. So close. Thank you. There it is.
On it. Should that have been spelled check with the QUE at the end?
Chique indeed. All right. We got 2 things we have to get to before kickoff for this next game. And one of them is the lovely controversial topic of pumpkin anything, really. Pumpkin beer, pumpkin cider, pumpkin spice. You get those pumpkin spice lattes. Are you a basic person? Non-gender specific basic person? Okay, I see you doing the thumbs down and I don't like it. Sometimes pumpkin things.
Pumpkin's not good. Pumpkin's not good. No. Cinnamon, sugar, and clove, that's fine. We don't even have to call it pumpkin spice. We can call those nice things that little girls are made of or whatever the hell it is. But pumpkin itself is terrible.
Have they made a pumpkin spice Drecker yet? Because that would probably kill.
Don't say that now. What if Drecker wants to come hang out with us, man? Come on.
I think I gave him a good idea. It would sell out in no time.
That's fair. We're not being facetious, Drecker. Call us.
Oh, we have a guest.
We have a dissenting opinion hard for what I say. Put it right up in the camera.
I'm really loving this pumpkin beer. It is, I think, the best I've ever had. I love pumpkin beers, first of all. This one is amazing. It pours out really chunky. Should I open it and pour it?
I mean, hang on. Roll the can. Get all of the rest of the pie out of the bottom of the can.
I'm going to pull up a picture of that
It's
can
amazing.
because we lost you guys for a second there, but I think people will enjoy knowing what it is. So I'll pull it up on Untapped so you guys can see it. But yeah, look at that.
Your
pour.
pumpkin leather. This is the beer for you. It is amazing.
Drizzle cam.
It's thick. It's chunky.
Drizzle cam. We're bringing it back.
It's really, really great.
Here's what I found. Somebody's check-in on Untapped. It is the Energy City Brewing Company Bistro Grande Pumpkin Cobbler, which is a Berliner Weiss.
Oh, so good.
But
So good.
But that still does not answer our question. Where's the line? Like, where do we draw the line on calling things pumpkin? Because we all know that one of the most famous pumpkin beers in Arizona is Four Peaks Porter, right? That's changed drastically over the course of the last few years, but also there was no pumpkin in that beer. It was just all the spices. It was all pumpkin spice. Where's the line? Nobody has any. You got nothing. And Brett's like, I'm just going to go drink IPAs. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I mean, I consider pumpkin beer one step above watching golf on TV.
Well, no. All right, what about take pumpkin cider? What about ciders with pumpkin spice?
It's not pumpkin's fault that off-flavor acetaldehyde especially tastes like rotten pumpkin. That's not pumpkin's, but it's real, and that's why pumpkin doesn't belong in beer, because it's just like, oh, is this dirt or is this just a hop that tastes like dirt? Neither one of them are really good.
My feeling, I don't know if my opinion counts, but I feel like pumpkin beer needs to have a little bit, at least like 1% of pumpkin in it. Like, it needs to have a tiny little bit of pumpkin to be pumpkin beer. That's just my feeling.
Tell that to AB InBev at Four Peaks, because they don't use any. I mean,
No.
well, what does pumpkin even
That's
taste like? It's just pumpkin spice. That's what everybody's cracked out about. I want to ask this question that I wanted to save for when we do our holiday episode, but I feel like right now is the time to ask it. If you do like pumpkin spice, is it pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie then?
Oh, sweet potato all day long. Pumpkin is gross, and sweet potato is very delicious. You shouldn't. Gourds are decorative. You carve them. You put candles in them. You don't eat them.
It's totally pumpkin
You don't
pie.
eat them.
I don't know what he's been having all these years, but it's definitely pumpkin.
Green, now that you're here, you have better internet than the state of Southern failed universities.
Well, I think I also have better opinions than some of the people down south. What is our problem with eating pumpkin dishes?
Well, we don't understand what the problem is at all at this point. They have dissenting opinions together. Julie is enjoying
I'm a pumpkin lover.
and Adam Ledford double thumbs downing pumpkin, and then Brett Barry is double thumbs downing pumpkin. So this might be this one.
I'm more just nothing pumpkin beer in things. It's not my preferred thing, but I'll have it occasionally.
Oh.
Wow, way to take a stand, Barry.
You know, it's not my hill to die on, Adam. Pumpkin or no pumpkin.
I like pumpkin beers. I like pumpkin pie, but I guess I only like pumpkin pie during Thanksgiving, which then do I really like it? I don't know. But pumpkin beers I think can be pretty good because a lot of pumpkin beers are porters and dark, like they're stouts largely, and I like that style already. So yeah.
Sam Fraser says the anti-pickle and anti-watermelon.
Yeah, that's just,
we're finding out that Adam Green has opinions.
yeah, pickles and watermelon are disgusting, but pumpkin can be good. That's the difference. I don't see why.
I agree with you.
But yeah, that's
This
true.
this is the one exception that proves the rule. Pumpkin is actually good.
Well, let's read it out loud because some people do like to listen to the show and not watch it. But Dogfish Head makes an amazing pumpkin beer every year, is what Sam Fraser has commented. I don't know when I had it last, but I think some of us had it together a few years ago, if I recall.
I think I used to have it. Avery always made a pumpkin beer. Like they had a whole series of pumpkin beers that are boozy as hell.
the rumpkin from them that was like rum barrel aged pumpkin stout that was 17%.
Yeah, it was great.
That's the one you had when that shitty uncle at Thanksgiving started talking too much, and you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna drink this, and I'll deal with him in a few minutes. Yeah.
When you say to your uncle, "Oh, you want to talk about the upcoming election, huh?"
Let me get this.
Yeah, you're either gonna have nappy time or you're gonna be able to set your breath.
I was assuming he said set your breath on fire.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? With internet like this, who knows what I'm saying? Just assume the worst.
You have just as good of internet as Weedy had in Bisbee at this point. So you're nailing it. Adam, you were.
I'm glad I didn't spend like $400 on new.
Were you watching the game?
I was at the game.
I figured you were. So we've talked about it twice, but I want to go back to it. But before we do, I believe tonight's game is what, Ravens Patriots?
That sounds right.
So let's make our picks and then chat some more about your one-on-one time with a stadium with nobody else in it. Because
there were people there.
Limited cap though, right? So I want to know what that looked like from the press box, if you don't mind telling us.
It looked like a U of A home game. I mean, it's like it's weird because like you say, "Oh, Ledford just got there. That's great."
Hold on,
like Iraq.
Let's make our picks, and guys, if you've got a pick, tell us in the comments, and then I really love that you actually gave that jab to yourselves. So.
Adam Ledford's sitting at home hitting refresh trying to see the presidential election results come in still.
Hold on a minute. Chris McBeth, I got to come to your comment in 1 second. It's exciting. Let's make our picks, and then I have to go to it.
Wait, before we do the picks, can we just talk about how I was the dissenter last week that pulled you over to the blowout side, Yusuf, with the Saints?
You did. You did.
We got to figure out what Justin and Saul owe us after we didn't really set a bet, but
at this point, I think we might have to make them wear a mask the next time they show up on like Fox Sports or maybe. Yeah. I saw Saul on TV last week, like the day after the show.
You're like, I know that guy.
I mean, I do, but if he was wearing a mask,
you'd know his eyes, and then he'd be Bobby Kramer.
No, it would have our logo on it, and that would be cool.
Branding.
Are we waiting until kickoff like Yusuf usually does? I'm going
to take the Ravens. I'll take the Ravens, which most assuredly means the Patriots are going to win because I'm really bad at this.
I think the Ravens defense is going to get it done. They've looked pretty solid for the most part this year, and I don't think the Patriots are going to have an answer for that.
I was going Ravens no matter what they said.
God damn it.
So enjoy the Patriots.
All right. Well, to my dear friends in Boston who watch the show and around the rest of New England in general, I've got friends in Rhode Island and Delaware. This is for you. I will take the Patriots today, knowing full well that you told me last year when we all worked together that please let us enjoy our last year with Tom Brady. We won't see this again for at least a decade. So I will hope that you will beat the Ravens today just for the sake of saving some of my house money because I have been winning several times over. But here it is. It's true. But back to our pumpkin topic. Chris said, how about pumpkin pie tamales? I'm going to flip my laptop over and run to go pick these up if I can. Did you just plug somebody? You're welcome, thetamale-store.com. What is a pumpkin? I have to find this now.
What is with our background today?
You just noticed. Good.
Brett, you have the authority, like the ability to mess with these things.
He doesn't know how to use it. He doesn't know how to use a computer. Brett's like a D-level executive. He can't use a computer.
Unreal.
A super spreader event at ASU.
But we didn't answer that. What about pumpkin pie tamales? How do we feel about that?
I'm just trying to process that as a thing.
Well, it's up in Cave Creek, so it's not like it's out of here. We can get it in Arizona. And Chris, if you're still listening and watching, hook us up so we can like do a tamale review on the show.
Are you sure that was the tamalistore.com and not thetamailstore.com?
Yes. 100% positive. Adam, now you're getting creative and I don't like it. This is when the show falls off the rails. This is when we start arguing about the background of the show.
Pretty much.
All right, the Tamale Store, here's your plug, but they're open from 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and it looks like they've got they've got a full restaurant menu and tamale menu. But
I mean, that address location looks like pretty central Phoenix, didn't it, Adam?
I wasn't paying attention.
Super
It looks
simple.
very close to your home.
Oh, cool.
Chris's wife, Amy, says, confirmed they are delicious and gluten-free. I'm
That's
in.
good to know.
I'm in. Anybody feel like driving up to central North Phoenix anytime soon?
Actually, I think I've heard of this tamale store. They are near me. That's great.
Perfect. Then you admit where you live.
Yeah, I live in my house.
We just know it's not Central Phoenix, sir. We know it's not Central Phoenix.
Fine.
Since you're back and you were at the stadium, Adam, and I think a lot of people who have watched in the past may not know that you spent some time as a sports journalist. But those of you who watched last week obviously saw him interacting with another sports journalist or two others. I want to touch back on that game, and I know that you were messaging us saying, like, there's no way I'm going to get back in time at this point because it got really intense.
Yeah, I thought it might be going to overtime. Like, I mean, I'm sure anyone who was a Cardinals fan watched that game. It was my first game covering it in person. I've been doing sports updates for CBS Radio National. So I call on about 3 times an hour, tell them what's going on in the game and everything. It's fun. And I do it for the Cardinals home games. And since they haven't been doing as many press credentials as normal because of COVID-19 restrictions, this was the first game that I got credentialed for. So got to be there in the press box. It was spaced out, all the media people wearing masks and stuff like that. And there were some fans, and I forget the number of fans. Was it like 3,000 fans or 4,000 fans they did in the stadium? And they looked fairly well spaced out. But it's that weird balance of, like, you look at that and say, oh, there's really not a lot of people here. But also, there's a pandemic and there might be too many people here. And you don't know, like, they had the roof open and again, people are spaced out. I mean, and if they're wearing masks, like, are they doing it as safely as possible? Probably. Is it the wisest thing to do? I don't know. I'm not going to say, but it was definitely different.
Were the vendors open? Did you go get food?
I don't know. I think they were. I think I had read in the Cardinals there, they did like their COVID changes protocols, and they said like it's all cashless experience and distancing and all that. But I didn't do any of that. The media deal was different this time.
I know you and I have been spoiled, so you get to go to the press catering area and get a bite when you need to.
Well, it's a little bit different in COVID times. They have bagged lunches for you. It was a sandwich, chips, and a cookie, and a little salad. It was good. I'm not going to complain. But
in COVID time, I just imagine it's like the picture of the Fire Festival meals where it's like a cheese sandwich.
No, they do well for you. Like, it wasn't bad. You know, you're not there to eat. Although normal seasons, the meal for media is generally fantastic, and one could argue they are there to eat. But not now. You're there to cover a football game in some capacity, and it was a great game. I say Hail Mary to win it at the end, which is just that should never happen. But when it does for the team you're rooting for, it's great. You know.
So here's a question. Because I've been in the press box for college games several times. I don't know how much you can tell us or can't tell us, but I assume you can tell us a little bit. I was wondering, just as well as I do, normally you're like right next to somebody else in the press box. How does it look right now?
It was spaced out. And I think the reason I got credentialed, like I said, like, I haven't been credentialed for a game yet this season. We put in a request for it, and because they just have limited spaces. And from what I gathered, there weren't any traveling Buffalo media there, anyone for the Bills. So that opened up some spots for extra local media, which included myself. So, like, normally it's a full press box, a lot of buzzing around, people walking around, you know, chatting and all that. That obviously was not the case today. Everyone was just sitting at their station, distanced away from the next closest person with their mask on and just working. You know, it's certainly less lively, less boisterous than normal, which is understandable because the things that you would normally do, you can't go have conversations with people. You can't sit there at the table and, you know, chat and all that. Not now. So it was just everyone was there to work. Like, I guess a professional press box should be.
Adam, was it a strange thing to be witnessing what would in normal times be an incredible crowd reaction to an amazing individual effort by DeAndre Hopkins, to have it sound more like a high school game probably in terms of the crowd noise?
Honestly, I had that thought leaving the stadium. I'm like, man, like I'm kind of glad there were some fans who were there to see that because it's such an amazing moment. But at the same time, it's like, but again, should there be fans there? So yeah, I mean, if there was an just empty stadium like the Cardinals' first couple of home games where there were no fans allowed, it would have been this amazing moment that there was zero reaction to other than by the players and the coaches. So yeah, I mean, that place would have gone nuts. I mean, I imagine a lot of people would have been leaving for the exit when Josh Allen had that touchdown pass to Diggs to go up with like 40 seconds left. But like, yeah, it's like, oh, like, well, even then, like the press box is in the opposite end zone from where the Hail Mary was. So we don't see where the ball is. You see the ball go up, and normally you would look at the fans and like, what are the fans? And when you start seeing the fans that where they're doing this, you're just like, wait, did he catch that? You know, because you can't see it. So normally, yeah, a full stadium, it'd be a much different experience. But so hopefully everyone who went to the game is healthy and remains healthy and can say they were there and it was awesome to be there for that game because, you know, for a midweek or mid-season game, that's still a hell of a finish.
Yeah, the 10 people that were there, the 10 people that are there are going to tell everybody for the rest of their lives about how they were the one right there at that, like one of the 5 people to see.
I would imagine our fans who actually took the time to go out to those games did not leave that early, all of them, right? It didn't completely empty, did it? Is that what I missed when my computer refreshed?
No, I'd say like normally I think there'd be, if it's a full stadium, when the Bills took the lead, there would be some people say, you know, we're going to head for the exits. We want to get home.
Sure.
There'd be traffic, but there was no traffic. And so people stuck around for this and they got to see something that should never happen. You should never win by Hail Mary, like ever. But it was a huge win for the Cardinals because obviously last week they lost a really close one that you could argue they should have won. So the Bills are a good team. And that was DeAndre Hopkins. Jeez, what a catch.
I have to ask one more question about your experience today going out there, just because the journalist nerd in me wants to know the answer. But post-game press access during COVID times and how the interviews work, you know that when I and you were going to these games, and especially when I was going down and having like field access or access post-game, meet up with the guys, seeing Earl and those guys, we would all just be in one big clustered mess, right? So how does that work now? Because I've seen different setups, but you don't know who, what reporter wants to speak to whom or how that works. So.
Well, like since I'm just doing the updates, I wasn't a part of the post-game interviews, but I have watched some of these things and listened in on them, and they do just Zooms. And the media relations person, like the people sign into it, the media relations person says, you know, okay, this person, they're going to have the next 3 questions. And they do it that way, which, you know, as a former media person or someone who used to go in a locker room and just talk to whoever I wanted to do stories, like that sucks.
That's what I was going to ask. Is
you have to write the same story as everyone else. You have to talk to the same people as everyone else. You can't go get your own story. You can't go work on your own angle. And I mean, after a game like this, obviously there's only a few angles there are, but you're going to be talking to whoever the media relations team, whoever the team says you're going to be talking to. So it's certainly not the way it used to be, but like I hope. I know there's a lot of teams that would probably prefer doing it this way forever and limit that media access because teams don't really like media, but they tolerate media. So I hope this isn't like a full-time thing. They're like, oh, this worked for them. We'll just keep doing it this way. I'd like to think that when COVID is over and things go back to some sense of normalcy, like reporters will be able to go down in the locker room and do it like they used to. But for now, it looks like just on Zoom meetings and just you raise your hand in the background and they call on you and you ask your question.
So Chris had a question. He was asking, were the guys from KTAR calling the game near you?
No, like the ones, I mean, most like the KTAR reporter people were, one of them was in the press box near me, although I don't think they want much to do with me these days anymore over at KTAR. But no, you're thinking like Dave Pasch, Ron Wolfley, they were in a different place altogether. But normally you would see them in the press box like during halftime and stuff. When they'd get a break, they'd go in there and grab a bite to eat. And I don't remember seeing anyone from the radio crew there today. But also that's messed up. But I was just kind of focused on my job too. There wasn't that time to go mingle around and look around. I was like, okay, I'm sitting at my desk, I'm working, and that was it. But no, we weren't near them.
I imagine Ron Wolfley, like, right after that DeAndre Hopkins catch, burst through a wall like the Kool-Aid man. And just, like, started screaming.
I know you came in late. Where's your beer? It's nightcap time. You're back from the game. You're back from work. Where's your beer?
I figured I'd be on for about 5 minutes. I'm going to go eat dinner. I didn't have time to grab my beer before the show.
Damn shame. What's for dinner?
Ribs.
Fair enough. You nibble on those bones.
No, I will.
Well, before we close out, we have more extra dope spam. Want to become famous by followers, primes, and viewers? Thank you. Appreciate it, ZZ Forever 11.
Wait, put that back up. I need to get the address.
Yeah, like, that's all they get. That's all they get. That address is probably full of 16 viruses. Well, time for a wrap up. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. Adam, I'm glad to hear that you got a chance to go spend some time in the press box and do. I know you love the most.
It was a unique experience.
It's how we met, and it continues to be something that you are passionate about. So you can sports harder than I can sports, and I still think that we have to figure out how to play a game of NBA Jam on the show and let people watch me beat you.
We tried to play that game of NBA Jam on my birthday, and we lasted a quarter when you were down by like 12 and decided you were done.
I don't think there's any video proof of that on the internet. There's none whatsoever, actually.
That's
it never
true.
happened. It never happened. It literally never happened.
Kind of did.
I don't remember that. Brett, do you remember that?
I don't know, something about a birthday, and Adam had long hair. He looked like our uncle. I don't know.
Brett's a good friend, and so are the rest of you, my fans. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's another episode of Social Distance Drinking Club. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you on Wednesday.